Movie Groove, 7 to 9 Thursdays on Energy Groove Radio.
Welcome back to Energy Groove Radio. The show you're listening to is called Movie Groove. It's what's on screen. My name's Alister Lockhart. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful city of Sydney and all around the world. And sitting with me in the chair today is the delectable Mr. Thomas Arnold.
Hey.
There you go. Isn't that lovely? A sprinkling applause there from the crowd.
Yeah, I'm just a guy.
It's just a golf clap. Yeah, so welcome to the show. Did you see any movies recently? Have you been in the theatres of late?
When was I last in a cinema?
I do not know. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, I'm thinking actually.
Okay.
No.
Thomas was just telling us today how his favourite movie of all time is The Empire Strikes Back. How it's just the perfect movie. And
Actually, I prefer The Phantom Menace a lot more.
okay, now we're going to have a fight. This is going to be a very bad fight. You can't start me talking about The Phantom Menace because I'll take up an entire 2 hours of airtime just going on and on and on about it.
This could be another show.
We'll dedicate an entire show to how truly... Well, I thought that was one of the great shames about the prequel movies is that nerds used to argue about which one was better, Star Wars or Empire. Now they argue about which one is worse, Phantom or Attack of the Clones.
Or Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, it's not a very good movie, but it's better than any of the three new ones. You know, unless you're talking about special effects. And I know that there's all you young people out there who are going like, oh no, the three new ones are much better because the special effects don't suck.
What about the two often forgotten Ewok movies?
Well, there's a reason why they're
Courage
forgotten.
And The Battle of Endor, I believe they're called.
Yeah, but I never actually saw them, so I have no basis upon which to judge.
That's a shame. They're George Lucas classics.
I did see the holiday special.
That's also quite good.
Have you heard that? Oh boy. Yeah, no, because that was
a variety show.
That was
quite good as a variety show.
Oh yes, with guest starring B. Arthur.
Exactly, a variety show.
Oh my God! I watched it all the way through, because when I was very very young in Australia, it's summer around Christmas, and so the good television isn't on at Christmas. There is nothing on the television around Christmas time, especially way back, 20 years ago when I was 2. I was about 5. 20 years ago when I was 5 years old. And I looked in the listings and it said about 2 in the afternoon, Star Wars. That's what it said in the TV guide. 2 in the afternoon on a Sunday, Star Wars. And I went, oh my God, like I'd unearthed the Holy Grail or something. I can't believe this is going to be on TV. So I sat down going like, yay, Star Wars. And the holiday special came on, which I was not ready for it. I'd never heard of it. I wasn't aware of it. It just came on. And I was thinking to myself, because you know how back in the day, before a movie, they used to do a short film?
Yep.
Sometimes? So that's what I thought it was. And so I sat there for 2 hours going, any minute now, they're going to shut this garbage down and they're going to play Star Wars. When we got into, close to about an hour and 50 minutes, I started to realize that it wasn't going to happen. So I did genuinely sit through the entire thing.
The whole opening sequence of that, where it's got... Chewbacca's family. So what is it? Sorry, it's Marla.
You're not acknowledging my pain. You're supposed to be expressing sympathy.
No, I was laughing inside about that. His wife is Marla, and his child is called Lumpy.
Lumpy,
and the granddad is called
Itchy.
That's it. Yeah, because great Wookiee names. George Lucas is just a man with an amazing imagination.
Well, he likes to pretend that it never happened.
That opening sequence with the Wookiees just being there and talking only in the Wookiee growls and roars and stuff is actually really interesting for that period of history, late 70s television, to actually show something that has no actual communication we can understand.
Yeah.
And no subtitles.
Yeah, and there's this weird scene where
growls.
weird scene where Grandpa Wookiee gets his present is a hologram of a chick dancing. It's like a little burlesque display that he watches in a VR headset. It's
variety.
So yeah, look it up on YouTube if you want to spend a couple of hours just wincing with embarrassment.
The other cool thing about the artifact of it online, which isn't necessarily the best quality recording, but it has all the adverts from the day in America, so you get to watch late 70s American adverts.
Oh, genius. That would be fantastic. Anyway, we're not talking about TV right now. We are talking about movies, and what we like to do is start each and every show with entertainment and movie news from all around the galaxy. This is episode 25, A New's Hope. And in box office news this week, I'm afraid so, over the weekend, the new low-budget horror flick Ouija was top of the box office, putting Keanu Reeves second in the running with his stupid action vehicle John Wick, leaving third place for Brad Pitt vehicle Fury. See what I did there?
No.
All right. Brad Pitt vehicle? No? It's a movie that... Never mind.
Maybe I saw.
Maybe you did. Despite a Rotten Tomatoes score of 10%, Ouija pulled just shy of 20 mil, which means a sequel. Surprise, surprise. In second place on a modest 14.4 mil was John Wick, a decent take for this type of film, although it's not the numbers that Denzel got in The Equalizer a couple months ago. It's on par with similar fare from recent months, such as one of a dozen or so Liam Neeson movies about a no-nonsense bad arse searching for the truth, or a family member, or his concession card, or the street he lives in, etc. David Fincher's doing his best numbers ever with Gone Girl. He is. Looking set to top out at over 140 mil. Animated Mescaline Trip Book of Life, however, has dropped too much audience in a week on around 30 mil, and indie darling Birdman still performing in its expanded release. It'll go up to 255 theatres next weekend on its very strong 27,000 or so per theatre average. Nice to see Michael Keaton in something good.
Is he in movies again?
Yeah, well, he's doing this indie thing called Birdman, where he plays an actor whose greatest role was playing a superhero in several movies, and now he's, not being able to get any other notable work, he's decided to do a comeback on stage.
So it sounds like an interesting... if it had some parallel to life, that would be amazingly interesting.
It certainly would. But anyway, but after his recent gonzo turns in turds like Need for Speed and RoboCop, two movies that prove name recognition alone will pull a crowd, because people choose movies these days like they vote in crucial elections by picking from a list of Photoshop clones. I'm getting sad now. Cheer me up.
George Lucas makes good movies?
I said,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if this partnership is working out. At some point, I could just cut your mic, is what I could do.
All right. I'll buy you Grain Waves.
And thank you very much. And in other films profiled last week, faith-based cliche bingo scorecard 23 Blast turned in the worst opening since the Goatsy meme. No, nothing. The schmaltzy football flick's $337,000 landed it at number 8 in the top 10 lowest grossing nationwide US debuts of all time. That's not a good place to be.
Nay.
No. It's about a young football player who goes blind and then goes back to play football anyway.
It sounds like a really touching, heartwarming story that you'd think people would flock to.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of faith-based stuff recently. They've had big successes with... well, not with Left Behind. They had a remake of Left Behind a couple of weeks ago with Nicolas Cage, which failed to get as good a score or as good a performance at the box office as the 2000 version with Kirk Cameron.
There you go.
So Kirk Cameron is a bigger box office draw now than Nicolas Cage. That's not good.
It'll be a good thing to test.
I guess so. Also in the news, we've got movies making science. And I know you had very strong opinions on this one. Christopher Nolan's Interstellar is still 2 weeks from release, but that hasn't stopped it from shaking up the world in a very unexpected way. Namely, the sci-fi film has actually led to a new scientific discovery about the nature of black holes. As reported in Wired, Nolan enlisted astrophysicist Kip Thorne, who actually sounds like a movie star, to work with his special effects team in order to create the most realistic-looking black hole on cinema. Or in cinema. Maybe it's supposed to be on cinema screens. I wrote this.
So, because previously the benchmark was the old Disney movie Black Hole.
Yeah, but that was really good, and I think that was just one of those old-timey things where they got blue ink and then put it in a pool.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with previous versions of black holes, is that they kind of operate in a two-dimensional space, which is not what black holes operate in. It's like a surface turbulence going down a little maelstrom, like when the bath plug gets taken out.
Yeah.
And they think that's what black holes are like.
But
they are three-dimensional things.
But sci-fi movies do that anyway. If you remember in Return of the Jedi, when they turn around and they see the Imperial fleet, they're all facing the same way up. So did they agree to do that?
Yes. George Lucas has spoken about this a great way. Yeah.
All right, so the Empire decided, no, in order to keep a good formation, we're not going to surround you this way. We're just going to park in this one particular spot.
Right.
You could run away by going in the opposite direction, but no, you need to come.
It's it's this problem with shifting manifestations from 2D ideas of a battle into a three-dimensional space. But as I've discussed many times, George Lucas is clearly a man with a great sense of imagination, a grasp of the world.
You're just trying to get under my skin, aren't you? You're trying to make me lose it on air, and I'm not going to have it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, back to this. Thorne worked with Carl Sagan on the Jodie Foster space classic Contact from 1997, a brilliant movie somewhat ruined by the fact that the aliens turned out to look like John Morris in his gardening clothes. That's not even trying, man. Anyway, we'd only ever conceived of black hole theoretically. Nobody had any idea what it would actually look like, and the computers finally churned out, after hours of rendering, all 800 terabytes of it was astounding. And it turns out that a black hole doesn't look too much like its name. It actually looks like this, and I've got a picture here. I'm going to stick that picture up on the Facebook page, which is simply called Movie Groove, if you want to check that out later on. You've probably already seen it on Facebook anyway. Thorne quickly realized that the model generated by Nolan's team is as scientifically accurate as it gets. Forget artistic license. This is what black holes actually look like, he said. This is our observational data, Thorne explained. That's the way nature behaves. Period. So, scientist says that he can publish at least 2 research papers based on the finds. So when you watch Matthew McConaughey save the world in Interstellar, you're also watching scientific progress in motion, which is seriously cool, no?
Yeah, maybe.
You're looking awfully Foldy Army over there.
That's been me all day today.
Well, no, but you were talking about this earlier on, and you weren't buying it. Now, what's your reasoning behind that?
Well, Wired's just such a great source for cutting-edge science, isn't it? That's where I find all my most cutting science information.
All right, okay, point, good point.
So many articles from leading astrophysicists. And, they're kind of talking about a black hole being more accurately represented in a cinema context, which is a visual medium. Black holes don't actually look like anything unless there's stuff happening with them, because they have observed them in space. And we see the distortion from their gravity and things like that. But they don't actually show light unless light's being sort of as such digested by them.
So this is a representation of what they would look like if they were pulling in a lot of light.
My problem is that okay, this is a better representation than we've seen in any movie before, but to make out like that this is what they actually look like is actually
it's a representation of what the gravity field looks like.
Yes, but they're not saying that. They're saying now Christopher Nolan has made it.
Well, we have to know which, where the gravity field is. So it shows us where the gravity. So it is what it looks like technically if it was pulling in a heck of a lot of light in one go.
Yeah, or if it's got a sun right behind it or something like that. Yeah. So it depends on the context of it, but I think it's a limited representation of it. And
also, I would like to point out that the word is pronounced pedantic, not pedantic. Okay. There's an E in it, thank you. You are on Movie Groove, and every week on this show, I like to remind the listeners that my very favourite bit of the Oscars is the In Memoriam segment. But why wait until March, when we can enjoy death every week in a segment that we like to call Dead for Reals.
Behind the clouds, the sun is shining. There's a big blue sky waiting right behind the clouds.
Well, you're dead now, so shut up.
Ah, lovely. And this week in Dead for Reals, we are having a look at Jack Bruce. And once again, as is often the case, you might not know his name, but you certainly know his work. The Scottish-born bass player, well, musician really. He's from Lanarkshire. I have family in Lanarkshire. Hello there to my Auntie Famf. She's not listening. She's a good Christian lady. She wouldn't listen to noise like this.
Oh.
He was a member of 1960s bands, the John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, one of my very, very favourites. Remember that one? Did you ever listen to any John Mayall?
I did.
I was looking back to see if she was looking back to see if I was looking back at her. Mm-hmm. Love that song. I'm not going to sing it for you. And of course, more famously, Cream, the band that introduced guitarist Eric Clapton to the world. And unfortunately, drummer Ginger Baker.
It's great.
Well, okay. Cream were voted the 66th greatest rock and roll artists of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. Bruce was the bassist and vocalist. He was elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Cream in 1993, and since the 1960s was a successful solo artist in his own right. The Cream reunion concert of 2005 was the first time that the band had played together since their 1993 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, mostly because Ginger Baker is such a massive arsehole that it's near to impossible to even hear the man speak for a few moments without wanting him dead. Did you see that?
You're saying he's someone from a band then?
No, he's in particular. You should see a documentary called Beware of Mr. Baker, where this horribly beleaguered documentarian had to spend a significant amount of time with the man. And yes, there's something wrong with him. He's definitely a sociopath.
Not anymore.
Oh, is he dead?
Apparently so.
Did he die? I wasn't aware that the man had died. Okay,
I mean, what? Oh, we're talking about.
I was talking about Ginger
anyway.
Baker, not Jack Bruce.
Sorry, right.
No, Ginger
They're all
Baker,
the
unfortunately,
same.
like people like that just live forever. Yeah, check out the documentary Beware of Mr. Baker just to get an idea of what I'm talking about there. Worse than Lou Reed, apparently. As always, maybe none of the names in this list are ringing any bells for you young people, but due to massive classic hits such as White Room, I Feel Free, and of course Sunshine of Your Love, Jack's music is credited on 59 movies, including The Breakfast Club, True Lies, Goodfellas, the best gangster movie ever made, and of course the Patrick Swayze classic Roadhouse.
What about Miller's Crossing?
Okay, no, well that's definitely a very good one, and a lot of people like The Godfather.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The Godfather is
there's
good.
ones that have some special, and I'm okay with Goodfellas being there.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Miller's Crossing is a special one.
It really is. Although it's got that very special thing that the Coen Brothers do, where it has a non-ending ending, and you don't mind
Steve Buscemi dying, which has
right.
never happened in any other Coen Brothers movie except almost every Coen Brothers movie.
No, he dies in every Coen Brothers movie. Yes, Steve Buscemi.
Right.
They don't like him very much. He keeps on getting killed. He gets fed into a wood chipper in one of them. What happens to me this time? Oh, I get fed into a wood chipper. Anyway, my favorite number is Pressed Rat and Warthog
by Cream.
Yeah, you don't remember that one?
No.
It's this really odd little number I used to, because I got that album a long, long time ago, and I would sort of wonder at the lyrics. It's Pressed Rat and Warthog closed down their shop. They did not want to. It was all they had got. Selling atonal apples, amplified heat, and Pressed Rat's collection of dog legs and feet. So, if you know what any of that means, please don't call in. Anyway, of his long-standing heroin addiction, Jack was quoted as saying, "Obviously, I tried to get off the stuff. I'd done acupuncture, cold turkey, rehab, sleep therapy, you name it. But heroin gets you like that. It steals your soul and takes its place. And let me tell you, it's not a particularly good substitute. Wise words. Kids don't do drugs." Jack Bruce died of liver failure just a week ago. He was 71, and he's in the White Room now. And next on Dead for Reals...
Well, dead.
I'm afraid so. Marcia Strassman has died. She was best known for her role as the wife of Rick Moranis' madcap inventor Wayne Slazinski in the 1989 sci-fi hit Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Did you go see that one?
Yeah.
It was cool. Like back in the day, that was
cinema, though. I don't think but I have seen that movie a few times.
Yeah, it was mind-blowing. It was when they really started to make really good use of digital special effects over at Disney, and yeah, it's astonishing. For its time, it's astonishing.
I thought that was pre-digital effects.
Well, it was pre-Jurassic Park. That was 1993, but I think they were starting to
my
use digital
understanding
compositing.
Is the first two films to use digital effects were the I was going to say Young Sherlock Holmes film.
No, there was that one.
The third Alien film, when the alien is climbing out of the...
It started even earlier than that. You didn't see The Last Starfighter?
That has video effects, not the...
No, it has digital effects. The
3D,
it's the all the ships and stuff are done in CG. It's very basic 3D stuff.
I'll have to research more.
It's really, you look at it now and you go like, oh wow, because a kid with a laptop can do better than that now. But back
my
in the
kids
day,
do in Minecraft. Yeah.
yeah. So, anyway, back to Marsha Strassman. If you're a little older, because I'm certainly not, but if you're a little older, you might remember her as Gabe Kaplan's incredibly hot TV wife Julie in the 70s hit TV show Welcome Back, Kotter. No?
That's the John Travolta.
That's the show that gave us John Travolta, a very, very young John Travolta, to whom the beleaguered inner-city high school teacher would end every show by telling her a joke. Marsha died last week after a long and terrible battle with cancer, which just really sucks. But hey, maybe we've got time for just one more. This is Marsha Strassman in Welcome Back, Kotter.
Did I ever tell you when I was young, I always felt I was adopted?
No. Really?
My parents never said anything. So one day I decided to just go up and ask.
Good for you.
The day I graduated from Buchanan, I went right up to my father, had my diploma in my hand. I looked him straight in the eye. I said, Ling Chow. I said, was I adopted? He said, no, you're not adopted. You rented.
Welcome back to Energy Groove Radio. That was Fudge Tunnel with Jack Bruce's very famous Sunshine of Your Love. You know a little bit about that track. That was a recommendation on your behalf.
It was, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I think of Cream, I think of Fudge Tunnel. Strangely.
What a great name for a band, Fudge Tunnel.
Yeah. You know the reference?
I have an idea.
Yeah, it's probably the right one.
Yeah. So, I'll go home and get my Fudge Tunnel on this evening, I think. Anyway.
So, interestingly, those guys were, at that time, label mates with early grindcore death metal bands like Napalm Death and Morbid Angel and stuff like that. And they were definitely the odd band out on that label. But,
yeah.
The guitar solo was courtesy of a Black & Decker drill.
That's right, yeah. I think I read that when I was sourcing the track. Was it a Black & Decker drill had been held against the strings of the guitar?
That's correct.
Which bit?
I'm not sure.
But
I
they're
think
fretting.
all over it.
Yes. Fantastic result. I love the band names as well for death metal bands. My favourite one I think ever is Pungent Stench.
Yeah, they're quite funny.
What's the album cover where there's two very, 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 very old men French kissing? Or is it a single?
Okay, yeah, so that's their album, which I always thought was called Bin Caught Butchering, but then I noticed, I didn't actually read the words, and it's Bin Caught Buttering. But the interesting thing...
That's worse.
Exactly.
Ew.
And the interesting thing with that artwork was that they got a lot of trouble, and there was a number of governments in the world that tried to make a big deal of that. The Australian government picked on another band around the same time and actually tried to ban a CD in this country. But that artwork was actually, I believe, by a French, it might have been German, but a European artist. That's what they did, was these sort of weird conceptual photographic artworks using cadavers. And so those images had been shown in galleries and had been received as real art. And then when the band sticks it on the album artwork, suddenly it was highly offensive and horrifying.
Yeah.
Which it is still kind of offensive. You can't make art using cadavers and not kind of push buttons for some people, right?
No, but
I've had trouble balancing that with my art practice.
But the complaints on that score, they tend to come from just special interest groups.
Like politicians and the media and stuff, right?
Because, well, special interest groups, they attract a lot of funding by being the person who gets their, 15-second soundbite on the news. If you get to be the head that turns up on the news complaining about whatever album covers, a salacious cover on a magazine or whatever, then you get funding. And so the outrage is just false. The next show, we've got the segment where we're looking at what's opening in theatres in Australia and all around the world. This is the bit that we call opening scene. That's my worst sting. I really don't like it.
I thought you were going to just take a bit of audio from Mike Leigh's Naked from that opening scene, maybe, but
well, maybe I should.
You chose not to do that?
I didn't think of it. I had to come up with something in a hurry, and I was thinking, there's a door opening. What? I don't know. It's really awful. I apologize for it every week. But advised not to do that. I'm supposed to say that's the best stinger in the world. And opening this weekend in the States is Rowan Joffe's new thriller Before I Go to Sleep, starring the thinking girl's sniz-warmer UK dreamboat Colin Firth, and a painted Guy Fawkes Halloween face mask in the role of Nicole Kidman. Kidman plays a woman who wakes up every day remembering nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that she plays a woman that wakes up every day.
Hey! She plays a woman who wakes up every day remembering nothing as a result of a traumatic accident in her past. One day, new terrifying truths emerge that force her to question everyone around her, such as, seriously, we're doing the plot of an Adam Sandler movie?
That's what I was just thinking, actually, yeah.
Well, here's a clip.
Who are you?
I'm your husband, Ben.
What?
You had an accident. You store up information for a day. Wake up in the morning, it's all gone.
Hello?
Christine, it's Dr. Nash. You won't remember me, but we've been doing some work on your memories, and we've been keeping a video diary. I'm not certain that Ben knows.
10 years ago, you were found with repeated blows to the head.
Who tried to kill me?
No one knows, no one but you.
You hide my past from
To protect you.
From what? Don't trust anyone.
Yes, that's Before I Go to Sleep. Also starring Mark Strong. It's a thriller where you're not supposed to know who's the bad guy and who's not. Spoiler alert, Mark Strong has never played a good guy in a movie ever. And Colin
Firth
giveaway. Colin Firth has never played a bad guy, but that might be the inversion.
It could be. They could be playing with
that
us.
Might be the clever twist at the end.
Anyway, I do suspect that Colin Firth has a real good bad guy in him somewhere, you know?
Possibly.
I don't know. I'm thinking...
Not the Stuttering King. He's so lovely. Did you see that film?
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
Watched it a couple of times, but it really is just very formulaic. It's Rocky for stutterers.
I've seen him in some period dramas too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right, yes. Mr. Darcy with his shirt stuck to him. That Mr. Darcy. He's dreamy. Anyway, Nicole Kidman has recently been out of the public eye due to the increasing incidence of people transforming into werewolves at the sight of her massive shiny forehead. Is that unfair? Her dad died. It's not nice.
She's got a sister that has a big shiny forehead too.
That's right. Also opening this weekend is the crime thriller Nightcrawler, featuring no one's favourite actor Jake Gyllenhaal, as a young man who stumbles upon the underground world of LA freelance crime journalism, presumably when he stumbles into a room full of unwashed drunks chain-smoking and copy-pasting random comments from Twitter.
And so they're not doing the blue-furred teleporting thing with this one. This is
No, that's a different Nightcrawler. Shh. Do you want to get sued? No, it's not that Nightcrawler. The movie is...
What?
No, it's not that Nightcrawler. It's called Nightcrawler. But
Marvel are making so many movies. What?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's not Marvel property now.
Oh.
It is a Marvel. It was a Marvel property, but in 1995, the comics industry imploded, and Marvel had to sell off all of their nicest things in order to stay afloat. Hence, Sony's got Spider-Man.
And that's why the SAE Institute owns Stan Lee these days.
That's right. We've got him in a box.
With Walt Disney's head.
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll work out how to, thaw out his head and get him put in that massive armed robot suit that he's got prepared, and his terrifying reign of evil can begin.
And his Disney Marvel logos all over it.
That's going to be fantastic. Anyway, here's a clip of that.
On October 31st, witness the motion picture event that is being called f***ing Amazeballs.
Can you try one more time without swearing?
It's go time.
Start filming. We want all of it.
Oh,
A man was shot several times. I'd be surprised if he survived.
You got a seriously weird-ass way of looking at
I'm a hard worker. I set high goals. And I've been told that I'm persistent.
We want to warn our viewers that these are extremely graphic images.
What happened in there?
You should have walked in and looked, Rick.
I heard gunshots.
All the more reason you might have helped me. You might have learned a new skill that made you more useful and put us on a track toward growth.
That movie is already getting a great deal of buzz from critics, describing it, as you heard at the start of that clip, and also by critic Kyle Buchanan of Vulture as Bucking Fonkers. Thank you, Reverend Spooner. The movie was directed by Dan Gilroy, a name that couldn't be more Irish if it was written into a big foamy Guinness, and who also directed Hugh Jackman in Real Still and The Bourne Legacy, a.k.a. the one with not Matt Damon.
Ah.
Yeah, that one. With the other guy. You know him from The Thing. Not The Thing, the other thing.
Oh, The Thing with the Thing.
Yeah.
Ah.
Jeremy Renner is his name. Anyway, he's not Matt Damon, which must be really depressing.
So is he kind of like that guy that looks like Harrison Ford, but that isn't Harrison Ford, that's in lots of movies?
Scott Bakula.
Could have had Harrison Ford that wasn't Harrison Ford?
Scott Bakula.
Wasn't there another one too?
No. Is there another Harrison Ford apart from Scott Bakula? Because Christopher Walken was going to be Han Solo at one point.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, they had Christopher Walken in to read for Han Solo. Al Pacino. Kurt Russell did some screen tests with Mark Hamill as Han Solo. That would have been a very different movie, I think.
Oh.
And Bill Murray was supposed to be in Forrest Gump.
That'd be cool.
That would have been better. Anyway.
I wonder if he would have got an Oscar for playing a handicapped person.
I think he probably would have. Anyway, limited release in the States this week is the new Daniel Radcliffe fantasy drama Horns, in which Daniel plays a young man hounded by the press in the aftermath of his girlfriend's mysterious death. No, it's not the Oscar Pistorius story, because the young man awakes one morning to find mysterious goatee horns have sprouted from his temples, and his legs have gone missing. No.
Right.
Anyway, he's under investigation by the police and followed everywhere by reporters, and he discovers that he now possesses the power to make people act upon their darkest desires, like shooting their girlfriend. No.
So he's become a politician.
Anyway, here's a clip.
What are they? You know how I think we should proceed? I should grind me up some OxyContin and have a little snort.
Everyone in this town is going crazy. I think it's because of me and these horns.
You killed that innocent girl. Now the devil has claimed you.
He didn't kill her father, and now people are telling me all these things I don't want to hear.
I'm so bad. I'm bad. I'm pretty enough to be on TV, right?
Admit you killed her. It'd be such a huge scoop for me.
I got an idea. How about you guys beat the heck out of each other, and the winner gets an exclusive interview with me?
There you go. So that's Horns. Opening this weekend. It's not a wide release, and I think we're going to be seeing that one in Australia a little bit later on. And of course, not the Oscar Pistorius story, as I said. Very big news that Oscar Pistorius. I can't even say his name without doing an South African accent. Oscar Pistorius. It's very big news. Who knew? South Africa's now gotten so rough that the white people are shooting each other. Also opening in Australia, locally, the James Brown biopic Get On Up opens this week in Australia. It was a poor performer when it opened in the States, despite excellent reviews. So get on up off your arse and go see it.
It's apparently quite good, isn't it? Who's playing the lead?
His name is Chadwick Boseman. He was in
that thing with the thing.
22. No, he was in a baseball movie. I think it was called 22, and it was about the first professional African American baseball player. And it had Harrison Ford in it. There you go, structural callback. Also on Aussie screens are Kill the Messenger, a biopic about U.S. journal Gary Webb, who broke the story about the CIA's role in the funding of Nicaraguan rebels in the 80s with money from the sales of crack cocaine in the U.S., something the CIA and the government reacted quite badly to, apparently. And also showing across the lucky country, or unlucky if you're a student, or a low-income earner, or want to buy a house, or are disabled, or the victim of abuse, or gay, or a woman, or endangered marine life, or a tree. Basically, if you're anything...
water.
Yeah, if you're anything other than a mining magnate. The latest Nicholas Sparks Weepy, The Best of Me, which we looked at a couple of weeks ago on the show. Long story short, it bombed in the States, and it sucks. That's everything that's on the screen and on the scene for this weekend. Remember, it's always darkest on the opening scene. Are you planning to get along to the cinema movie?
I have been, actually. Yeah.
Yes. What were you thinking about seeing?
In the near future.
Yeah.
I have a child pestering me to take them to see The Hobbit.
Oh.
Does that count as seeing a movie?
It counts as seeing about 4. That was Kings of Leon with Don't Matter on Energy Groove Radio. The show is called Movie Groove. We're transmitting live from the city of Sydney and all around the world. My name is Alister Lockhart, and sitting with me is Thomas Arnold.
Hey.
Yee. And I'm going to give you one of these.
Thank you. Thank you. That's nothing.
And perhaps also one of these. I don't know why I find that funny.
What just happened?
It's just a sound. It's just a sound on the soundboard that does that thing.
Oh.
You know.
Klaus is a moron who knows only what he reads in the New York Post.
Well, quite. So now, in a fresh new thing we're doing on the show, we have a look at fair dinkum, true blue, home-cooked movies coming to a makeshift 10-0 projection screen round your neck of the woods, you bastard. This is Wide Brown Screen. And this week on Wide Brown Screen, parts are funny.
Fudge Tunnel.
Fair enough. Lee Whannell, or The Mule, I should say. A movie called The Mule, Lee Whannell. Whannell? Maybe Lee can...
He's the dude from Saw, right?
That's right, co-creator of the Saw series, and his Insidious co-star Angus Sampson, who we all know, very famous Aussie actor anyway, have teamed up to bring us The Mule. Writer and director Sampson also stars as the main character, Ray Jenkins, who's a gormless tool, pressured into swallowing 20 condoms of smack and get it through Aussie customs. But he's pinched by the feds, who have no choice but to wait him out by confining him to a hotel room and waiting for him to literally produce the evidence. Also starring Hugo Weaving as Croft, a hard-nut cop who knows that Ray's the victim in this case and just doesn't give a shit. He just keeps giving Ray shit to get Ray to give him a shit, but he won't, which ironically gives him the shits.
I'm just imagining
hang
Ray
on.
Winston.
There we are. And we've got a clip. Here it is.
The law permits us to detain you for 7 days. The sooner you go to the toilet, the sooner we all go home.
You got something you want to tell us?
Did you honestly believe I wouldn't find out? You're gonna kill your mate before he sings to the pigs.
Why won't the prick shit?
You are this close to getting run over.
You need to hold on. Just a little bit longer.
Yeah, so that's The Mule. Check out the trailer for that online. I've got the poster here, which I think is fantastic. Check that out. No?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm going to put that up on the Facebook page for everybody to have a look at.
Very visceral.
Visceral is the word, yeah, that's fantastic. So there'll be links to that and the trailer on the website, just as soon as I can get that all happening. Back to Angus Sampson. Not only did he write and co-direct and produce this film, but he also took on what looks to be an incredibly demanding and very uncomfortable role. A good deal of The Mule's success comes directly from Sampson's performance, because he is an excellent actor.
He is.
And particularly his ability to make the viewer both really sympathize with his character and connect with him, which only makes the film's most nauseatingly memorable moment exponentially more gut-wrenching. It's a scene that had everybody talking at the recent SXSW festival in Austin, Texas. That's South by Southwest. Yes, they were all talking about that and wincing about it after the film. Showed there to some overwhelmingly positive reviews. So there you go, Australian audiences. Americans like it, so I guess it's safe for you to go and see an Australian film for once. I'm sorry if that sounded a little bit snippy, but I do think that Aussie films don't get enough of a run in this country.
They don't.
I actually, now that I'm doing this segment, Wide Brown Screen, which is all about Aussie film, I went looking for websites that, have the latest, the upcoming Australian releases, and I really had to make a concerted effort to find them. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of information about upcoming Australian films anywhere.
Unless the information's coming from overseas.
I don't know, but Son of a Gun failed at the box office, despite being a very solid crime drama with Ewan McGregor. That was a recent thing that and then there was These Final Hours, which was a post-apocalyptic thriller recently, which nobody went to see.
Do you think maybe the Australian government should be supporting creative industries more in this country? And in this case, specifically movies?
In my opinion, they should be, but the thing about this current government is that they probably won't be. They don't.
And I don't think the other major alternative would be very good at it either.
No.
What to do about Australian films?
Well, I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to increase awareness of Australian films right now by saying it on the radio. So you need to get along and see The Mule. All right, it's not getting a theatrical release. It's been on screens in the US. Great. We're not getting a theatrical release here in Australia. That sucks. So email your local theatre and demand to see the Mule on a big screen. Now, something about the release date here. Rotten Tomatoes says that the film is opening today worldwide and is on DVD on December 3rd. That is wrong. Rotten Tomatoes have that wrong. That is wrong. Cinema Australia just gives a vague 2014. IMDb says that the release is 19th of February 2015. In Greece. You see what I mean about awareness? It's really difficult.
It's a bit of a worry. Does the film have a website?
The film has an awesome Twitter page, which is throwing out all kinds of cool stuff. They just posted a picture of the American poster, which looks really good as well. And I actually emailed the film's publicist directly, a very nice lady called Kasha, and she said that it will be available, and this is the important bit, direct to own on November the 21st. That's November the 21st. You can pay just a little bit of money and own your very own shiny brand new copy on your own hard drive of The Mule, so you can watch Angus Sampson try very hard not to poo again and again and again. Every now and again on this show, we'd like to get a good long look at all the news from around the world that makes the geek clique bust its leak. This is a little bit that we call what? It's a little bit that we call the Geekly Roundup.
I'm nerdy in the extreme and whiter than sour cream. I was in a V Club and Glee Club and even the chess team. Nerdy.
This week on the Geekly Roundup, we've got a major Marvel event, and in this event, Marvel Studios president and master showman Kevin Feige came out on stage to MC a show that saw over 600 fans waiting outside since 3 a.m. Tuesday morning on Hollywood Boulevard to be one of the lucky few who got in. And in a massive showcase announcement, Marvel have released their Phase 3 film list for the massively successful Marvel Universe. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. I'm going to clear my throat for this. So, it's really exciting. Check this out. Okay. I'll turn this around so you can see how the logo work. Oh, you have seen it. Okay.
I haven't seen your little write-up.
So Feige revealed complete plans for Phase 3 and confirmed new titles like Black Panther and Inhumans, plus 2 more Avengers films. Marvel made it official that Captain America Civil War will hit theaters on May 6, 2016. And the news has also broken that Robert Downey Jr. is signed to appear in that film as well, presumably for around $15 billion.
No, I think he's on to 16.
Yeah, it's 60. Yeah, but millions. Remember, it wasn't that long ago when the only time he ever appeared on screen was when you saw him in court wearing an orange suit for yet another, completely unhinged booze and drug-fueled mishap of some kind. Well, anyway, presumably we're going to see Christian Slater's come back at some point.
Well, actually, Pee Wee Herman, there's talk that there's going to be a new Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman come back?
And Paul Rubens never had a fall from grace, did he?
He kind of did. There was the public masturbation charge.
He did that on purpose. That's why it was public.
It was just a joke.
Well, Alan Jones got away with it, so come on.
Oh, steady. Alan was found not guilty. He was found not guilty of that charge of public masturbation.
Yeah.
So these allegations are false. It's an absolute disgrace. If you're listening, Alan, please die. Anyway, Feige revealed complete plans for Phase 3, confirmed new titles for Black Panther, blah, 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 blah. Oh, right. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be appearing in that. The Civil War storyline is, of course, the one that leads to, and spoilers here, turn your radio off for just 5 seconds if you don't want to know the next bit. The Civil War storyline is the one that leads to the death of Captain America. He'll be back.
And so, but how's it? So we're talking about the American Civil War, I take it?
No, it's a civil war. It's a civil war. I think there was some kind of a disagreement, and the heroes start fighting amongst themselves.
What's the deal with him always having to be involved in fighting and stuff? Like, why isn't it like Captain America flower delivery franchise?
He could be a diplomat. There could be a diplomatic. That's what
he's such a nice guy.
That's what President Grant did. Grant was the hero of the last Civil War, and then he went on to be a sterling diplomat. He, through negotiation alone, headed off a major trade war between the United States and Spain.
No.
He did?
No.
This is true.
All right.
That was one of his. He was a two-termer, President Grant. That was one of his notable successes. But unfortunately, he wasn't very good with economics. He was really, really bad at it.
So he was a politician.
No, on one occasion there was like a small cadre of gold merchants who convinced him to place further restrictions on the amount of U.S. gold on the open market for the great economic benefit that it would bring to the country, and so he did on their advice, and they in reality had only done it to increase their own share price. So when he found that he'd been duped, again without consulting Congress, he ordered every ounce of gold that the United States had in the Federal Reserve to put on the open market, which of course made the price of gold fall right through the floor. And it caused such a panic on Wall Street that I think one of the brokers on the floor that day was heard to scream, "Just shoot me. For pity's sake, won't someone please just shoot me?" Which I think is where that term actually comes from. Anyway.
I think that's actually... Oh, yeah.
Let's get back to Marvel stuff. We're supposed to be talking about superheroes, and we are. We're talking about Ulysses S. Grant. Gosh darn it. Originally thought to open earlier, Marvel pushed a release of Doctor Strange to November 4, 2016, and of course also announced this week that British dreamboat Balthazar Cummypatch, I think that's his name, you know, the Sherlock guy.
Yeah,
Balthazar Cummypatch, who will star as the titular magician with the fabulous cape and mustache combo that's made him the straight guy icon he is today. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, well, yeah, I think we all saw that one coming. That'll see James Gunn return to direct, and that'll hit theatres in 2017.
And is that going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the Galaxing?
Guardians of the Other Galaxy, I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 will be followed by sculpted demigod Chris Hemsworth's return as the mighty Thor in Thor 3 Ragnarok, and that's coming out in July of 2017.
That sounds a bit almost apocalyptic.
It does a little.
Yeah.
It's like the big doings.
Or Ragnarokic.
I liked the first one, even though nothing much happened in it. The second one was it really just was.
Is Kenneth Branagh
a nothing plot
to this one?
No, I don't think so. Thor 2, a lot of people liked it. Stop slapping the table like that. It doesn't make good radio.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It makes interesting radio.
Okay. And in a very popular part of the show, it was announced that Chadwick Boseman, there he is again, who wowed the unfortunately very few people who saw Get On Up as the patron saint of souls, Mr. James Brown. He's been cast as African-American superhero and sometime Avenger Black Panther. It's a hot casting choice, and Chadwick came out on stage during the event along with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, who of course plays Captain America. Black Panther will be Marvel's first standalone film headlined by a black actor and will hit theatres on November 3rd, 2017. If you can't wait for that one, you're going to have to. Phage also announced that the studio will make a Captain Marvel film with Carol Danvers as Ms. Marvel. That's Ms. Marvel's alter ego, Captain Marvel. This is not the DC Captain Marvel, it's the Marvel. Yeah. It's all very confusing. That'll be the studio's first female-led film. They will also be making an Inhumans film set for November 2. Inhumans is really obscure. That's even more obscure than Guardians of the Galaxy, which is just weird that they managed to make a good movie out of a comic that just really wasn't very good at all.
It's very English.
It is. The Inhumans are a group of superpowered alien beings that have appeared in various Marvel comics, including Fantastic Four and Captain America. And the other big news, Phage put on a hot clip of all the Marvel movies and their various MacGuffins, in this case, each of the stones, the very famous stones, which culminated in a badass trailer that included Thanos sitting on his throne with the Infinity Gauntlet. Early reports are around 17 deaths and more than $2 million in property damage have been recorded as a result of more than 600 geeks simultaneously blasting their undies with Family Jam.
I'm leaving now.
Okay, Devon's scoop is officially confirmed. We are getting it to... Who's Devon? Who wrote this? Not me. I copy-pasted it. We are getting a 2-part Avengers film titled Avengers Infinity War, with Part 1 slated for May 4th, 2018, and Part 2 slated for May 3rd, 2019. And of course, today, we got the extended version of the brand new Avengers 2 Age of Ultron trailer, and we've got a little clip of it right here. I love this clip. It's very chilling.
How could you be worthy? You're all puppets, tangled in strings.
I like that very much, especially the use of the very famous song from Pinocchio. Just Disney flying its flag there a little bit.
They would never do that.
Along with the Marvel banner. Yeah, I think it's a really nice sort of idea because the robot, there's a super robot in it that is apparently made by Tony Stark to defend the Earth, and it becomes self-aware. And
super robot?
Yes.
In a superhero movie?
Yes, a superhero. So he's super indestructible.
As opposed to the non-super robots?
Yeah, so it's a Terminator kind of thing. He becomes self-aware and he decides, of course, there are no strings on me. And I really love that trailer. I just watched it again and again. It kicks some huge arse. Mainly visual, unfortunately, but I'll put a link on the Facebook page.
Giant super huge arses?
If somehow you've been locked beneath a rock and haven't been able to get near your computer, there will be a link to that trailer on the Facebook page for, just for shits and giggles, really.
So am I an unusual person in that I choose not to watch trailers?
Yes. They're the best incontinent page that anyone can buy. Anyway, Geekly Roundup Part 2. Should I play the theme tune again? Nah, to hell with it. Sure. In a move that looks set to see the future of my childhood dreams become a reality, DC last week also released their 6-year slate of mega-budget superhero movies. The latest combo in a massive punch-counterpunch melee between Marvel and DC for the geek dollar, and the impressive list reads as follows. In 2016, of course, we're looking forward to the much-anticipated Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice movie, with Ben Affleck. And why is that funny? It's going to be the Star Wars prequels all over again.
Well, doesn't he have that what is it again? PTS or whatever?
PTS? Yeah, post-traumatic stress?
No, he's got that, bum face disorder thing.
Oh, bum face, yes, that's right.
That's right. His manifests just on his chin. Course,
it's like somebody drew a picture on a thumb.
I'm pretty sure I saw a documentary where it revealed that Ben Affleck's parents both have bum faces.
So just put a wig on someone's arse. Yeah. Look, a movie star.
Bat arse.
Also in 2016, Suicide Squad, which I'm quite looking forward to. In 2017, a standalone Wonder Woman movie, which is fantastic. Wonder Woman's going to get her very own movie. It's been a long time coming.
So is Captain Marvel that's going to be after Wonder Woman, isn't
There's never any crossover. They don't do those.
I don't know. I understand that.
Yes.
Right. Sorry, was the Captain Marvel release date going to be after the Wonder Woman release date? So is Marvel going to
interesting
trump
question.
DC?
I didn't actually...
Yeah,
no,
I think
Captain Marvel.
First, isn't it? They're talking
the Captain Marvel is 2018. So they've already moved up Wonder Woman, and of course the Justice League movie is going to be coming later on then. So Wonder Woman, Superman, and Aquaman, and all those. We've got the Flash and Aquaman coming in 2018. Come on, Aquaman's cool. No, he really is, guys. I can summon all the fish, and we can. I don't know. Is anybody hungry? Fish. Shazam in 2019, which is their own Captain Marvel, but they can't say Captain Marvel because of Marvel.
So
it's
also weird and convoluted.
They always have to say
Why didn't
Shazam.
they just merge years ago, these companies and stuff?
I don't know. It's been this way since the beginning. Anyway.
And they have done crossovers.
I wasn't sure that kind of stuff went on, and frankly, I refused to believe it. Anyway, later on in 2019, we're also getting a Justice League 2 movie. In 2020, they're getting a Cyborg movie, which I always liked Cyborg when I was a kid. That was one of Neil Adams' things, where I think where the origin story of Cyborg I found very touching when I was a kid.
What was the origin?
Well, so his father was a scientist, and he made
Was he Batman? Batman's a scientist.
No, his father was a scientist, and he made a very special portal to another dimension, and a thing came through and ate his mum. And when he tried to save her, it ate some of him. And then when he came around to his father in order to save his life, to whom he wasn't very fond of, like they were estranged from each other, he'd come to see his mum. So he watched her die, tried to save her, got half-eaten, and when he woke up, his father had put him in this cyborg suit. Yes, it took him quite a long time to get used to it. So
he's kind of angry.
Well, there was a great line from it where one of his buddies, he was in the Black Panthers, and so his buddy comes around from the Black Panthers, and he says,
"See, but why doesn't Marvel own that territory?"
And he says to him, "Wow, that looks bad. Does it hurt?" And he says, "Only when I laugh."
Yeah, been there. That's why I'm not laughing much today. The pain.
The pain of it all. Along with some new stuff, Marvel just found their Doctor Strange, of course, in Barlymore Creamy Snatch. DC, on the other hand, is trying to round out its cast for the upcoming Suicide Squad, and Latino Review has been tipped off by sources that Warner is seriously looking at 22-year-old English fashion model, socialite, actress, and singer Cara Delevingne. There she is. For the villainous female role in the film. Could it be Harley Quinn? Of course it is. Look at her.
Could it?
Yeah.
No.
She's going to be Harley Quinn.
But that would be like if Marvel actually included a decent version of Deadpool in one of their movies, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
In any case, Fury writer-director David Ayer will take a crack at the script, which is equally promising, I'm going to say. Suicide Squad is about a group of DC villains that are brought together by amoral super spook Amanda Waller, head of a super illegal covert agency formed to tackle high-risk black ops missions for the government. In Australia, the government just hack your PC and drop kiddie porn on the hard drive in case you say something mean about them later. That's going to be my excuse.
Hey there, podcasters. Thanks for choosing Movie Groove. If you're a regular listener, or even if you're a version groover, why not take a moment to like, subscribe, or even leave an encouraging comment. Every week, Movie Groove brings you news, reviews, and cheap shots at Michael Bay. All for a low, no price, or nothing per download. So enjoy the show. Like, subscribe, and comment. It's a little shop that shows a little love.
Very good, Robbie.
I couldn't hear it.
Movie Groove, 7 to 9 Thursdays on Energy Groove Radio.